A poor janitor's daughter was dying. He had no money for her surgery. One night, he saw kidnappers attacking a young woman. He could have walked away. Instead, he took a bullet to save her. What happened next shocked everyone. The woman he saved was a millionaire's daughter, and she would change his life forever. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. The rain hammered against the hospital windows like angry fists. Inside room 304, Marcus Webb sat beside his daughter's bed, watching the oxygen machine breathe for her. Each mechanical hiss was a reminder that 7-year-old Emma was fighting for her life. Marcus was a simple man. He worked as a janitor at Lincoln Elementary School, mopping floors and cleaning classrooms. His hands were rough, his clothes were worn, but his heart was pure gold. Ever since his wife Sarah died 3 years ago from cancer, Emma had been his entire world. Tonight, those calloused hands trembled as they held Emma's small, pale fingers. "Daddy will fix this, baby girl," he whispered. "I promise." But promises cost money. The doctors said Emma needed a lung transplant. The surgery would cost $300,000. Marcus had $47 in his bank account. He had tried everything. He worked double shifts. He borrowed from friends who had nothing to give. He started a fundraising page online that barely reached $2,000. The hospital was patient, but time was running out. Emma's condition was getting worse every day. Marcus stood up and walked to the window. The city lights blurred through his tears. He was a fighter, but how do you fight when you have no weapons? How do you save your daughter when the world demands money you don't have? "Mr. Webb?" A nurse poked her head in. "Visiting hours are ending soon." Marcus nodded. He kissed Emma's forehead, careful not to disturb the tubes and wires keeping her alive. "I'll be back tomorrow, princess," he said softly. "Daddy loves you." Emma's eyes fluttered but didn't open. The oxygen machine continued its steady rhythm. Marcus left the hospital and walked to the bus stop. He didn't have money for gas, so he sold his car last month. The night air was cold, and his thin jacket did little to protect him. But he didn't care about his own comfort. He only cared about Emma. The bus was nearly empty. Marcus sat in the back, his head against the window, exhaustion pulling at him. He had barely slept in weeks. Between hospital visits and working multiple jobs, his body was breaking down. But he couldn't stop. Emma needed him. Tomorrow he would try the banks again. Maybe someone would give him a loan. Maybe a miracle would happen. Marcus closed his eyes, and for a moment, he let himself imagine Emma healthy again. Running in the park. Laughing at cartoons. Eating pancakes on Sunday morning. The simple joys they used to share before the sickness came. The bus jerked to a stop. Marcus opened his eyes. This wasn't his stop. He looked around confused. Then he heard the screaming. Outside the bus, on the dark street, a young woman was being dragged toward a black van. She fought hard, kicking and screaming, but the two men were too strong. They wore masks and moved with professional precision. "Help me," the woman screamed. "Please, somebody help." People on the bus looked away. The driver kept his eyes forward. In this neighborhood, you didn't get involved. You survived by minding your own business. Marcus watched the scene unfold. Every instinct told him to look away like everyone else. He had Emma to think about. If he got hurt, who would take care of her? But then he saw the woman's face. Real terror. Pure desperation. She looked barely older than 20. Someone's daughter. Maybe someone's only hope, just like Emma was his. The men were pushing her into the van. In seconds, she would be gone. Marcus didn't think. He just moved. He jumped off the bus and ran toward them. His body was tired, but adrenaline gave him strength. "Let her go," he shouted. The men turned. Even through their masks, Marcus could see their surprise. "Walk away, old man," one of them growled. He pulled out a gun. Marcus should have stopped. Any reasonable person would have stopped. But he had spent 3 years watching his daughter suffer. He had spent 3 years feeling helpless. Something inside him snapped. He charged forward. The woman broke free for a moment, stumbling backward. The man with the gun turned toward Marcus. There was a loud bang that echoed through the empty street. Fire exploded in Marcus's chest. He fell to the ground, his vision blurring. He heard shouting, sirens in the distance, the screech of tires. The van sped away empty. The last thing Marcus saw before darkness took him was the young woman's face hovering above his. "Stay with me," she was saying, tears streaming down her face. "Please stay with me. Help is coming." Marcus tried to speak, tried to say Emma's name, but the darkness was too strong. Marcus woke up to beeping machines and white walls. For a confused moment, he thought he was still in Emma's hospital room. Then the pain in his chest reminded him of what happened. "Mr. Webb, you're awake." A doctor stood beside his bed, checking monitors. "You're very lucky. The bullet missed your heart by inches. You'll make a full recovery." Marcus tried to sit up but pain shot through him. "My daughter," he gasped. "Emma. I need to see her." "Rest first," the doctor said gently. "You've been unconscious for 2 days. Your body needs time to heal." 2 days. Marcus felt panic rising. Emma was alone. Who was with her? Who was holding her hand? "Please," Marcus begged. "I need to know she's okay." The doctor hesitated, then nodded. "I'll make some calls. But you must rest." Doctor's orders. After the doctor left, Marcus lay back, staring at the ceiling. He felt like a fool. What had he been thinking, playing hero? Emma needed him alive, not shot and useless in a hospital bed. The door opened again. Marcus expected another doctor or nurse. Instead, a young woman entered. She wore expensive clothes, her long dark hair was perfectly styled, and her eyes were red from crying. It was her. The woman from the street. "Mr. Webb," she said softly. "I'm Victoria Chen. I wanted to thank you. You saved my life." Marcus shook his head slightly. "I didn't do anything special." "You took a bullet for a complete stranger," Victoria said, her voice thick with emotion. "That's the most special thing anyone has ever done for me." She pulled a chair close to his bed and sat down. "I need to explain something. Those men who tried to kidnap me, they work for someone dangerous. My father is Richard Chen. He owns Chen Industries. Maybe you've heard of it." Marcus hadn't. He didn't follow business news. But he could tell from her tone that it was important. "My father is very wealthy," Victoria continued. "He made enemies building his empire. One man, Gerald Morrison, lost everything when my father's company beat him in business. Gerald swore revenge. He's been trying to hurt my father by hurting me." She wiped her eyes. "Those men were Gerald's. They were going to kidnap me and demand ransom. Or worse. Because of you, I'm safe. Because of your bravery, I'm alive." "I'm glad you're safe," Marcus said weakly. "But I need to go. My daughter needs me." Victoria's expression changed. "Emma. I know about her." Marcus's eyes widened. "How?" "When they brought you in, you kept saying her name. You were unconscious, but you kept saying Emma needs me. So I asked questions. I found out about your daughter's condition. About the transplant she needs." Victoria stood up and walked to the window, her back to Marcus. My father is a complicated man, Mr. Webb. He's tough in business. He's made hard decisions. But he loves me more than anything in this world. When I told him what you did, when I told him you risked your life to save his daughter, he cried. I've never seen my father cry. She turned back to face him. We want to help you. We want to pay for Emma's surgery. All of it. The transplant, the recovery, everything. It's the least we can do. Marcus felt like the world was spinning. I can't accept that. It's too much. Mr. Webb, you gave me my life back. Let us give your daughter hers. Please. The tears came before Marcus could stop them. 3 years of fear, of struggle, of desperate prayers, all came pouring out. Victoria sat beside him and held his hand, crying with him. Thank you, Marcus whispered. Thank you. The next week moved like a beautiful dream. Victoria's father, Richard Chen, was true to his word. He paid for everything. He also used his connections to move Emma to the top of the transplant list. Within days, a matching donor was found. The surgery was scheduled immediately. Marcus sat in the surgical waiting room, Victoria beside him. She had visited every day, bringing food, offering comfort, becoming a friend when he needed one most. She's strong, Victoria said. Like her father. The surgery took 8 hours. 8 hours of Marcus pacing, praying, hoping. Finally, the surgeon emerged, still in his scrubs, a tired smile on his face. The surgery was successful. Emma did great. She's going to be okay. Marcus collapsed into Victoria's arms, sobbing with relief and joy. After 3 years of darkness, there was finally light. Emma's recovery was slow but steady. Each day she got stronger. The color returned to her cheeks. Her laugh, which Marcus thought he might never hear again, filled the hospital room. Victoria visited often, bringing books and toys, telling Emma stories about far-off places. Emma adored her. Is Miss Victoria an angel, Daddy? Emma asked one day. Marcus smiled. Yes, baby. I think she is. But not everyone was happy about the growing friendship between Marcus and the Chen family. Gerald Morrison watched from the shadows, his rage growing. His plan had failed. Not only had Victoria escaped, but now her father had taken in some nobody janitor as a charity case. The whole thing made Gerald sick. He wanted revenge more than ever. Gerald was a man who had once been wealthy, powerful, respected. But Richard Chen's business moves had destroyed him. Gerald lost his company, his money, his reputation. His wife left him. His children stopped speaking to him. He had nothing left except hate. And now, hate was all he needed. 2 months after Emma's surgery, she was finally healthy enough to leave the hospital. Marcus could hardly believe it. He packed her few belongings with shaking hands, excitement and fear mixing in his chest. Where will we go, Daddy? Emma asked. Their old apartment had been too expensive to keep. Marcus had been living in a shelter, saving every penny for hospital expenses. Before Marcus could answer, Victoria appeared in the doorway. You're coming home with me, she said simply. Victoria, we can't, Marcus protested. You've already done too much. My father owns a property nearby. A small house. It's empty. You'll stay there. No arguments. Marcus wanted to refuse. He was a proud man. But when he looked at Emma's hopeful face, pride seemed less important than giving his daughter a home. Okay, he said quietly. Thank you. The house Victoria mentioned wasn't small. It was beautiful. 3 bedrooms, a big yard, windows that let in sunshine. Emma ran through the rooms, squealing with delight. This is really ours? She asked, her eyes wide. For as long as you need it, Victoria said, smiling. That night, Marcus tucked Emma into her new bed. She fell asleep quickly, a peaceful smile on her face. Marcus sat beside her for a long time, watching her breathe. Normal breaths. Strong breaths. No machines. No tubes. He had his daughter back. Downstairs, Victoria was waiting. They sat in the kitchen, drinking tea. "Why are you doing all this?" Marcus asked. "The surgery, the house, everything. It's too much for a stranger." Victoria was quiet for a moment. "You're not a stranger, Marcus. You're the man who saved my life without thinking twice. You didn't know who I was. You didn't know if I could repay you. You just saw someone who needed help, and you helped." She looked at him with intense emotion. "Do you know how rare that is? In my world, everyone wants something. Everyone has an angle. But you just wanted to do the right thing. That's beautiful. That's precious." Marcus felt his face warm. "I'm just a janitor." "You're a hero," Victoria said firmly. "My hero." Something passed between them in that moment. Something neither of them expected. Something that scared Marcus because it felt too good to be real. The next few months were the happiest of Marcus's life. Emma grew stronger every day. She started at a new school, made friends, played soccer. She was a normal, healthy little girl. Marcus found a better job, managing maintenance at a business complex. The pay was good, and the hours allowed him to spend time with Emma. And Victoria became part of their lives. She visited often, joined them for dinners, took Emma to movies and parks. She fit into their little family naturally, filling spaces Marcus didn't even know were empty. One evening, after Emma was asleep, Marcus and Victoria sat on the porch, watching fireflies dance in the yard. "I've been thinking," Victoria said softly. "About my life. About what matters." "What do you mean?" "I grew up with everything. Money, privilege, opportunities. But I was never happy. I was surrounded by people, but I was lonely. I had everything except what really mattered." She turned to Marcus. "Then you came into my life. You and Emma. You have so little, but you have everything. Love. Purpose. Real connection. I want that. I want to be part of what you have." Marcus's heart pounded. "Victoria, you're young. You're wealthy. You could have anyone. Why would you want a life with a middle-aged janitor and his daughter?" "Because you make me feel alive," Victoria said simply. "Because when I'm with you, I'm not Richard Chen's daughter. I'm not an heiress or a target. I'm just Victoria. And that's all I ever wanted to be." Marcus wanted to kiss her. He wanted to pull her close and never let go. But fear held him back. Fear that this was too good. Fear that he would wake up and find it was all a dream. "I don't know if I can give you the life you're used to," he said honestly. Victoria smiled. "You already gave me life, Marcus. Everything else is just details." That night, they talked until dawn. About their pasts, their fears, their hopes. Two people from completely different worlds, finding common ground in the most unexpected place. But happiness, Marcus was learning, was fragile. Gerald Morrison had been planning his revenge carefully. He watched Marcus and Victoria, studying their routines, looking for weaknesses. He hired new men, better men this time. He wouldn't fail again. His plan was simple. He would take Emma. He would make Richard Chen and Victoria suffer the way Gerald had suffered. He would destroy the family that had destroyed him. On a sunny Saturday morning, Marcus was at work. Emma was at soccer practice. Victoria had volunteered to pick her up afterward. It was routine, normal, safe. Gerald struck during the chaos after practice, when parents and children crowded the parking lot. His men were quick and professional. They grabbed Emma as she walked toward Victoria's car. One moment she was there, the next she was gone, pulled into a van that sped away before anyone could react. Victoria screamed. She called police, called Richard, called Marcus. Her hands shook so badly she could barely hold the phone. When Marcus got the call, his world stopped. Not again. Please God, not again. He rushed to the parking lot. Police were everywhere. Victoria was talking to detectives, tears streaming down her face. "I'm sorry," she sobbed when she saw Marcus. "I'm so sorry." I looked away for 1 second. Marcus pulled her into his arms. "This isn't your fault." But inside, fear was tearing him apart. Emma had survived so much. She had fought so hard. And now this. The police were confident. "We know who took her. Gerald Morrison. We've been watching him. We'll find your daughter, Mr. Webb." But hours passed with no news. Then a day. Then 2 days. Marcus didn't eat, didn't sleep. He replayed every moment, wondering what he could have done differently. The guilt was crushing. Victoria stayed by his side, both of them existing in a fog of fear and helplessness. On the 3rd day, Gerald called. "Richard Chen," Gerald's voice was cold. "I have the girl. If you want her back alive, you'll destroy yourself. Publicly admit your business crimes. Transfer your assets to the victims you've ruined. Destroy your empire the way you destroyed mine." Richard's face was stone. "Let me speak to the girl." There was a pause, then Emma's small voice. "Daddy?" Marcus grabbed the phone. "Baby, it's me. Are you okay? Did they hurt you?" "I'm scared, Daddy. I want to come home." "You will, princess. I promise. Be brave for me." Gerald came back on the line. "You have 24 hours, Chen. Comply or the girl dies." The line went dead. Richard looked at Marcus. "I'll do it. I'll give him whatever he wants." "No," Marcus said firmly. "Marcus, this is my fault. My choices led to this. I won't let your daughter pay for my mistakes. And I won't let a monster win," Marcus said. "We'll find her. We'll get her back. But we do it the right way." Victoria stood up. "I know where he is." Everyone turned to her. "Gerald has a property. An old warehouse his company owned before the bankruptcy. He didn't sell it because it was worthless. But I remember him talking about it once, years ago. If he's hiding Emma anywhere, it's there." The police mobilized immediately. They surrounded the warehouse, called in tactical teams, prepared for anything. Marcus insisted on being there. The police tried to stop him, but Victoria's father made a call, pulled strings. Marcus would be there when they brought his daughter out. The operation happened at dawn. Tactical teams breached the warehouse from multiple points. Gunfire erupted. Smoke grenades filled the air. Marcus waited outside, every second an eternity. Then he saw her. A police officer carrying Emma out of the building. She was crying but alive, unharmed. Marcus ran to her, pulled her into his arms, held her so tight he thought he might break her. "Daddy," Emma sobbed into his shoulder. "I knew you'd come. I knew you'd save me. Always, baby. Always." Behind them, police led Gerald Morrison out in handcuffs. He looked broken, defeated. His revenge had failed. He had nothing left now except a prison cell. As they passed, Gerald looked at Marcus. For a moment, their eyes met. Marcus saw no remorse there, only bitterness. "You should have minded your own business," Gerald spat. Marcus held Emma closer. "Protecting my family is my business." The weeks after the kidnapping were hard. Emma had nightmares. She was scared of being alone, scared of strangers. Marcus took time off work to stay with her constantly, helping her feel safe again. Victoria was there every day, bringing comfort, patience, and love. She read to Emma, played with her, gradually helping her smile again. One night, after Emma finally fell asleep, Victoria and Marcus sat together on the porch. "I've been thinking," Victoria said. "About us. About this family we've built." Marcus took her hand. "Me too. I love you, Marcus. I love Emma. I want this to be permanent. I want us to be a real family." Marcus felt tears in his eyes. "I love you too. But Victoria, your father, your world, they'll never accept someone like me." "My father already does," Victoria said. "He told me yesterday that you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. That you've given me something he never could. A real family built on love instead of money." She squeezed his hand. "And I don't care what the rest of the world thinks. I only care about you and Emma." Marcus pulled her close and kissed her. It was gentle, sweet, perfect. All the fear and pain of the past months melted away, replaced by hope. "Marry me," Marcus whispered. Victoria laughed and cried at the same time. "Yes. 1,000 times yes." 6 months later, they had a small wedding in the backyard of their home. Emma was the flower girl, beaming with joy. Richard Chen walked Victoria down the aisle, tears streaming down his face. Marcus stood waiting, wearing a simple suit, his hands shaking with happiness. When Victoria reached him, she was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. "I never thought I'd find this," Marcus said during his vows. "I thought my life was just about surviving, about fighting for one more day. But you showed me that life is about so much more. You showed me love when I had given up on it. You gave my daughter a future when I couldn't. You gave me hope when I had none left." Victoria's own vows were simple. "You jumped in front of a bullet for a stranger. You showed me that real heroes don't wear capes or have superpowers. They're ordinary people who do extraordinary things because it's right. You're my hero, Marcus. Today and always." They kissed as husband and wife while Emma cheered and everyone cried happy tears. A year later, Marcus stood in his backyard, watching Emma play soccer with friends. Victoria was beside him, her hand resting on her growing belly. Their baby was due in 3 months. Life wasn't perfect. They still had struggles. Money was sometimes tight. Emma still had occasional nightmares. The scars from the bullet wound on Marcus's chest still ached on cold days. But they had each other. They had love. They had hope. Richard Chen had helped Marcus start his own business, a maintenance company that was growing steadily. Marcus worked hard, but he always made time for family. That was what mattered most. Victoria had found purpose beyond being an heiress. She started a foundation helping families with sick children, using her resources to make sure no parent had to feel the helplessness Marcus once felt. And Emma? Emma was thriving. She was healthy, happy, surrounded by love. She called Victoria Mom now, and Victoria cried happy tears every time she heard it. "What are you thinking about?" Victoria asked, leaning against Marcus. "I'm thinking about that night," Marcus said. "The night I saw you being taken. I almost didn't help. I almost walked away. But you didn't." "No, I didn't. And that one choice changed everything. It saved you. It saved Emma. It saved me." Victoria kissed his cheek. "That's what heroes do, Marcus. They make the hard choices. They do the right thing even when it's easier not to. You've always been a hero. You just didn't know it." Emma ran up to them, laughing, her face flushed from playing. "Daddy, Mom, watch this." She demonstrated a new soccer move, then fell down laughing. Marcus picked her up and spun her around. Her laughter filled the air, the most beautiful sound in the world. That night, after Emma was asleep and Victoria was resting, Marcus stood alone in the quiet house. He thought about everything that had happened. The pain, the fear, the miracles. He had been a janitor who had nothing. Now he had everything that mattered. He learned that wealth isn't measured in dollars. It's measured in love, in family, in the people who stand beside you when the world falls apart. He learned that heroes aren't born. They're made in moments of choice, when regular people decide to be more than they are. He learned that a single act of courage can change the world. Not just for yourself, but for everyone around you. Marcus Webb had taken a bullet to save a stranger. In return, he found a family, a love, and a life beyond his wildest dreams. And as he climbed the stairs to join his wife, his hand touched the scar on his chest. It would always be there, a reminder of the night his life changed. But it wasn't a reminder of pain. It was a reminder of what's possible when you choose love over fear, when you choose action over apathy, when you choose to be the hero someone needs. The best scars, Marcus realized, are the ones that tell stories of survival, of courage, of love. And his scar told the best story of all.